I'm assuming it's fine. I can't tell.
It's okay.
We need to have a mirror like right there. Right?
I know. Or like a long one.
Okay. So here we go. All right. Hi. Welcome. I'm Donna.
And I'm Nadine.
And this is Teach People How to Treat You.
Okay. I love it. Volume 4? No,
yeah.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Not volume 4.
That's okay. Volume sounds good. Episode.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So,
thank you everybody for continuing to watch us and your input and your support.
yes, thank you so much.
Super exciting.
We're so
we
grateful.
mentioned it at the beginning that we've been talking about doing this for a long time, and now that we have the momentum, we're really pumped, and we're glad to see that other people are pumped about what we want to say and put word out there and definitely support and empower. Empower is a big word.
Yes.
Empower is a big word.
Yeah.
And we're going to do something about empowering or taking your power back, but not tonight.
No.
Not tonight.
No, but
tonight, what we'd like to talk about is trusting your confidence.
yes.
Trusting your
great
confidence. I made that up, but someone probably already has it. I take all the credit.
It's Nadine's. Yeah. She coined it.
And the reason I say trusting your confidence is very often we already have the answer, and we already know what we want to do or what we do not want to do. But we go against that. We go against our instinct. We go against our confidence for various reasons, whether we're insecure, we don't trust ourselves with our own,
Or we second
thoughts.
guess.
Oh, second guess. Thank you. That's perfect. We second guess.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people do that out there. We already know.
Yeah.
We already know. So specifically, the trusting your confidence where I have had success is in business. All right. So just quickly, when I started, I'm in the insurance business. So it's financial world. And when I started, I was much younger, first of all. But aside from that, it was 25 some odd years ago. Back then, there were very few women in sales positions and executive sales positions. And let me tell you, it took a lot of confidence for me to push through, because there were many times where I was walking into meetings and it was all males, all men. I was the only woman in there.
Gorgeous thing walking
presenting.
in. Oh no!
And
I just imagine their faces, the mouths dropping open as you walk in.
I had this one client. He was awesome, and of course I can't mention his name, but he was awesome. And it was a franchise operation. So because I do corporate benefits, it was talking to the owners of the different locations about putting an employee benefits plan in for all of them. It was franchise, so it wasn't mandatory. So we had the head office sign in, and then we had all the people that own the different locations, all men. And he did this on purpose. It was 30 men.
30, oh my God.
In the room where I was presenting. Now, I've always been comfortable presenting. I've always been okay, standing in front of a crowd. In grade 3, I won, the public speaking award because I had the good voice and I had the confidence to do that. But now we're talking a totally different game. We're talking, this is my livelihood. I really felt like I've been thrown to the sharks, right? And I walked into the boardroom. I opened the door and he was standing outside the door. He's already laughing. And I said, "What's so funny?" He goes, "Nothing." So I walk in and I said, and everybody was sitting at the seats.
Like around, was it like a boardroom?
It was a boardroom, but the only empty seat was the one at the very extreme end. So I had to walk by. I felt like,
I wish there would have been a video of that.
I felt like meat on a hook.
Yeah.
And I remember, and he said to me before I walked in the room, because I said, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And he said, "No, I'm not, because you know what, Nadine, you know what you're talking about. So what you need to do is you need to forget the fact that these guys are going to look at you like you're candy. And just have the confidence and go in there and have it." So my little briefcase, and I walked.
No, but are you like are you in a little dress?
I'm a power suit, baby. Like I had
yeah.
So, you know, back then we wore, you know, navy, red, and white. I guess like the, you know,
like a flight attendant.
Okay, no, flight attendants or politicians.
Yeah.
It was very, very conservative.
Yes.
And you didn't even wear pants. Like you couldn't wear a power suit with pants. It was a skirt.
It would be a skirt.
And
that's what I thought. The pumps.
Oh yeah,
Well, yours would have been like this. Like
I've always been the stiletto queen.
Yeah, yes, she is.
By the way, I hold the world stiletting sprint.
I'm sure she does. Do you?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, you should. Anyway, no.
So I walked. Okay, so here's what happened, and this is what we want to talk about: is trusting your confidence. I knew that I was very well knowledged and informed already, even at a young age, in my business.
Okay.
Right. I had some great mentors, and that's like for years. My mother was a big part of that. She got me into the business, and she was, constantly educating. Anyway, so my point is, I knew exactly what I had to do and say. What was unnerving me was the walk up. Let's call it up the aisle. Okay. Passing, 15 men on each side of the boardroom table. And regardless, there were looks, there were a few comments, and it would have been so easy for me to cower and
sure.
either compromise myself to get the deal, or not deliver the message in a knowledgeable manner. So that was the first example that I can tell you where acutely I remember trusting my confidence and saying there's no damn way that any of these people in this room are going to not take me seriously when it comes to my business. So I walked up. Yeah,
so
I walked up and
great.
I gave my presentation to these 30 men. And, listen, don't get me wrong, my knees were knocking the whole time. But they never saw it. I had eye contact with everybody. I made sure that I knew exactly what I was delivering as the message to the product that I wanted them, to be aware of was available for all of their stores and their employees. And I wanted them to take me seriously. And I got to tell you,
key. Take you seriously.
As a woman in business, and it's changed now though, Donna, because there's a lot more women, executive women, way more than there were when I started. Yeah. Way more. Yeah. And I love that. Mm-hmm. But this message also goes to young men in business too. Okay, if you're presenting or you're going to a meeting, do not let the person on the other side of the table take away your confidence. If you're not prepared and you don't know what you're talking about, then I don't know what you're doing there in the first place.
Well, and then how do you have confidence if you're not? Then you can't have it.
You can't. So what we're talking about here is, if you know, and this is, we're talking about work right now, like career, all right?
Yeah.
This can go for anything in life. I wanted to share this particular story because that was a make or break moment for me back then as a woman in the business, okay? It would still be the same thing today, man or woman. You go into a business meeting and you know that you know your stuff. You don't let anybody take that away from you. You don't let anybody, say not take you seriously. That is really key. So that confidence, you need to trust that if because you know what you're doing, right? Like I had lewd comments,
that day in that meeting.
Oh yeah. I had
Really?
I had lewd comments, and there were a couple of times I had to bite my tongue. But, here's the thing that I learned that day as well, and I want to share with everybody out there. You don't need to compromise yourself. We have these Me Too movements now, and what's the other one? There's Me Too and there's Time's Up movement. Thank goodness. I don't know why
it took so long.
Exactly. Where did anybody ever think that it was okay to give of yourself when you didn't want to advance your career. You know what you give of yourself to advance your career? You give your time, you give your devotion, you give your brain, you give your hard work, you put your heart into it. That's what you need to give. That's what you need to contribute.
I know.
Okay? You don't have to contribute anything else that you don't want to contribute. And don't let anybody else tell you that you need to do that. So I've been very, very lucky in this industry that I chose. Well, actually, I didn't, but my mother chose it. Let's just be truthful. Love you, Mom.
But the one that you were in.
The one that I've stayed in. Yeah. And I've stayed in. And, you know, I have people say to me, 5 years from now, you'll be married with kids. You won't be thinking about this. Who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me this stuff. You don't know.
Well, my father, that's probably who said it. But anyway, yeah. That's a story.
It wasn't. My dad was like, I don't understand. You know, in my day, we worked 9 to 5 and we had a pension. I went, well, in my day, you know, it's not the same thing. But the thing was, the one element in my life, and we'll talk about my failures, you know, at some point in business, I never allowed somebody to take away my confidence. If you want to question me and I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know and I'm going to find out for you. But I had never been in a situation where I felt cornered, where I felt that the only way that I could win the deal was to give in on on somewhere where I didn't want to give in.
Yeah.
It was always, you know, and I earned that reputation, you know, in this. If you talk to people who know me in this business, they're going to tell you that I'm a tough businesswoman and that so the latest one, you'll love this. I was at a conference, I got to share this with you guys. A young man came up to me and he said, oh, I hear you're the one I have to talk to about employee benefits. So I said, okay, great. And I said, you know, who told you that? And he said, oh, a few people at this conference have told me. And I said, okay. He goes, yeah, you've got quite the reputation.
Oh.
So yeah, I had the same reaction. I went, oh. My goodness, what have I done? But he said, I was told that you're a tough nut to crack. And I took offense to that. And I said, what does that even mean? I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
But I did. I took offense to that because I thought I consider myself approachable and, you know, fun to be with and certainly successful enough to do business with. Mm-hmm. But he said, I've heard that you're a tough nut to crack because you are strictly business. No, but listen, that just meant that I go to these conferences and I have fun and all that, but at the end of the business and at the end of the cocktails, you know, that we go to after that, I go back to my room alone.
Yeah.
That's my choice, okay? And listen, if that's my choice.
It doesn't have to be everybody's choice. Absolutely.
It does not have to be everybody's choice. That's why I didn't
say as you should, because
no. That was my choice.
You want to do.
That was my choice.
But maybe I would say as you would, because I know you.
Right.
It would be your
that's
thing.
Just,
yeah.
So that was just the way. That was the persona that I wanted to have. Well, it is who I am anyway. It's not a creative personality.
But that's great. But then that's you being true to yourself and your
teaching
reputation.
People how to treat me. That you know what I'm not going to get your business because I'm going to give you something of myself that I don't want to give. Yeah. And that's really, really important. Okay, if you decide, you know, I mean, like office romances and all that, that's fantastic. And if that's your thing, that's fine. But what I want to talk about here is trusting your confidence. And I wanted to focus on a business element of it because in business, I've had those successes where because I knew what I was talking about, because I had the information and the knowledge, I was able to be taken seriously, which is what I wanted. Because the result that I wanted from the people on the other end was respect and business, obviously, and to know that, you know, I take my job seriously.
Yeah. And the people that you deal with.
I take them seriously too.
And you command, as opposed to demand, that respect, right? And for them to see that that's who you are and that's what you represent, and there's no compromise there.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that. And now this can carry on over into personal, which I think that's a whole other episode that we can. And in fact, we would love to hear from you if you wanted to send in any of your stories or your comments on how this type of thing, trusting your confidence. That you've been able to relate to that in your personal lives or your business. But I think that what you've addressed here is fantastic, and it's not just in the corporate world. I mean, if you're an actor or in anything in the hospitality industry, in any industry whatsoever, to trust your confidence, going into interviews even. That sort of thing, like this just carries over into so many things. Going on
your first date,
yes.
Trust your confidence.
Absolutely.
You know, own it, right? Like, I mean, we both had daughters who did competitive dance, and they had to trust their confidence. Oh my goodness, to get on stage and to put those performances on which were amazing. So I did focus on business, but it's not limited to.
No, and that's what
it was
I mean.
just an example in the business.
Another time on taking that, but I love that. I love that phrase. Trust your confidence.
Trust your confidence.
Trust it. Trust it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
Trust your confidence.
Yes, trust it. And on that note, once again, please subscribe to our channel. We are posting weekly, and this is an interactive journey between us and you.
Yes. And we've had some feedback already, and we've had interest in. We've actually, as you know, thank you for the men that have shown interest on coming on this channel. I think that is fantastic. So we have had, and we're going to get to everybody.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we're going to get to everybody.
We're just
super excited.
Just warming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
okay.
Anyway, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.